Okay, so we're going to be making 3 different types of sushi. Okay, so our first step is to cook some rice. And I got this brand of sushi rice and then got a medium-sized pot. For every 1.5 cups of rice, you're going to add 2 cups of water. Okay, so before you cook your rice, you want to actually clean your rice. So you can just get a strainer like this, or if you want a bigger or smaller one. And then you just pour all the rice into that. And what you want to do is you want to just keep cleaning it with water and just moving it around and keep cleaning it. You can move it around. This will just make it easier so that it'll stick and it's easier to work with. Okay, you cut it. Okay, so once you have your rice cleaned and you have your water in it, you want to basically set it on high and just let it get to a boil first, and then we'll come back. Meanwhile, your rice is cooking. I want to give a big shout out to Mark Bach, who gave me this awesome sushi knife. And while your rice is cooking, we are going to be cutting our vegetables and our crab. Okay, since our rice is boiling, you want to just stir it around so it does not stick to the bottom of your pan. While our rice is still cooking, she's stirring it so it doesn't burn to the bottom of the pan. We're going to cut our avocado, and I got this tool from Wish.com. And you're just going to cut it in half, like this. Okay, then you're going to turn it like this, just like that. And then you're going to use this middle of the tool, these 3 little middle parts. You're just going to do that. So it takes out the seed of the avocado. And then you can use this part to cut it, just like that. Okay, so next we're going to cut our cucumber. So I'm going to use my big sushi knife, and I'm just going to cut down the middle of the cucumber, like that. Maybe this side. It's so not even. Okay. Then we're going to cut in the middle of those. And then you're just going to cut the sides. Just like that. And you can cut them like this. Just like that. And next, once you cut it like that, you're going to make them smaller, even smaller. So you're going to cut them thin, just like that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to cut up is our crab, also known as imitation crab. And the reason it's called imitation crab is because it's crab mixed with another fish. And so I picked this up at my local Walmart. And we're going to cut this just like we did the cucumbers, super thin, long strips. Okay, so this is our crab. Just like this. So we're going to start cutting the first piece, and all you have to do is just cut them just like these, really, really thin. Just like that. You're going to cut them super thin. And if you want, in between cutting your different vegetables and meats, you want to wet your knife. Okay, and I also did not forget about the sushi rice that we made. We just took it off the heat and covered it so it will cool down. You want to just let it sit just like this for about 10 to 15 minutes so it gets even more sticky. As you can see, it is finished cooking. Once you get your avocado out of the skin, then you're just going to cut them really thin pieces like this, and you can cut those in half. You're going to cut. Next, you want to get your sushi mat, and I prefer putting saran wrap on top of it so that rice doesn't stick to it and it's harder to clean. putting the saran wrap makes it easier to clean. Okay, so we're going to be making 3 types of sushi. The first one we're going to be making is a normal sushi roll. It's called the California roll, and it involves all of these. So the first thing we're going to do is get our full sheet of seaweed. I picked this seaweed up from my local Walmart. So first thing we're going to do is get some of your rice, and I recommend having a bowl of water so you can just dip your hands in so it doesn't stick to you. The rice doesn't stick to you. So dip your hands in the water. You're going to get a whole bunch of rice, just like this, and you're just going to spread it all along the very first part, and then you're going to eventually cover your whole thing of seaweed. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is optional. We're going to get some normal sesame seeds, and we're going to put them all over the rice. And this is just a normal traditional roll would have sesame seeds. So you're just going to sprinkle them on just about everywhere. You don't want to cover them completely, but sprinkle them on. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to flip this over real quick. So this is going to be so the sushi rice is on the outside. There we go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add all of these. So first thing I like to do, vegetable, meat, or vegetable, fish, vegetable. So I'm going to put some cucumber first. And this time, you don't want to cover the whole thing. You just want to put it on a certain section up here, however you would like. So I'm just going to put a few pieces of cucumber. Just like that. So as you can see, it works because of how thin they are. So you can put more and stack them easier. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my imitation crab. Put them on top of that. You could put them to the side some as well if you like. Just like this. I'd rather have a little bit more fish or crab than vegetables sometimes. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to put half avocado on one side so we can taste one side avocado and one side not. So you're just going to put it halfway. But normally, a traditional California roll, you would just put avocado all the way down like you did every other thing. Okay, on to the next. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is finally finishing off our California roll by rolling it. So we're just going to take them just like this. We're just going to take it just like this. And we're going to hold it right here until you get it over that. Then you want to press on it so it stays in place. You want to take it back like that and take it over like this. Press it again. You want to press it down as much as possible and in so it makes more of a circular shape. Just like that, and finish it off by one more roll over. And just like that. Okay, so finishing off this California roll, since after you've already rolled it, you want to just cut off the ends for a better presentation. And I would prefer making your knife wet, getting just water all over it so the sushi rice does not stick to it. So you could normally just cut them normal in little slots, but I got this set for Christmas where it just makes it a little bit easier. So what you want to do is you put this over it just like that, and you'll put your sushi roll right inside of it like that. You want to center it as much as possible. And I made all these, I put water on all these so it does not stick to the sushi rice. This will just help press it down. Just like that. And then go ahead and take your knife and use these slots to cut it. Once you have finished cutting, this should be your final product. You should just have multiple pieces of sushi. And now we're on to the next. Okay, so we are on to making our next type of sushi. We're going to take our leftover crab and we're going to cut it in half, just like this. And we'll set that aside. Now we're going to grab some of our rice. And wet our hands first. And we're going to grab a whole bunch of rice. Get about a good handful, just about that big. And you want to shape it in your hands to a little round, like circle, but still a little oval. So like that. Now you want to push in to make a little dent so it expands just like that. Now you can add whatever type of vegetable, or even if you want to add even more crab, you can. I'm going to put some cucumber in the middle of this, just like that. And then close it back up and add a little bit more rice. Now we're going to take, once we have basically hidden inside our vegetables or other crab, we're going to put this piece on top, or you can make it even thinner, cut it thin, and add it in a different way, which I prefer doing. So you can make them just strips like this, put them along the top, like that. Just like that. And that is probably one of the easiest types of sushi to make. Once you're done, that should be your finished product. You can see sort of the cucumber in there, but again, you can put any other component you want, such as more crab meat or avocado. On to the next roll. Okay, for the last roll, we are gonna need seaweed. We need seaweed, caviar, which are fish eggs, and they taste just like salt. Gives it a salty component so you don't have to use soy sauce. And our rice. So first thing we're going to do is wet our hands again. Grab some rice. This time you want to make it into a circle. As much as possible. Or ball. Like that. Then you're just going to place it down like this. Okay, so for now, we are going to get a full sheet of seaweed, and we're going to have to cut it. And I figured out, instead of cutting it with just a normal knife that'll rip, you can just use scissors, kitchen scissors. So you can just cut a really thin strip. Sometimes those sushi should and will have these lines on it that indicate where you can cut it. So I'll cut on the first line, right here. This is just using the scissors so it does not rip the seaweed. And you can save this for later. Now, you're gonna go back and grab your little ball of sushi rice, and along the bottom edge where you have cut, you're gonna put a little bit of water along it, just so it sticks. So then now you're basically just gonna wrap this up along it. And then once you get right here, you're going to add a bit more water to the edge right here and finish it off like this, and then cut it. Just like that. You're going to add some more water just so it'll seal off. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to want to do is, now that you have basically a little pocket, I would just cut a little bit further down like this and cut around it just so it doesn't make it so tall. And then you can just basically tear it around. Sushi, just like that. So this is what it should look like so far, just like that. So the next thing you're going to want to do is take your caviar, and you're going to want to get a little spoon you can use, and just take a little bit of caviar and top it off. You don't want to get too much, otherwise it'll be too salty. So you can add as much caviar as you want, or just cover the top like I did. That is it for this roll. Okay guys, so that is the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. These are our 3 types of rolls we made today. And if you guys want another part of this sushi making, you can guys comment down below part 2. Thanks for watching.